All right, so I'm over here on this CodePen page that I generated from my color scheme. And again, you just go to export and you can go to CodePen. And I'm just going to use this. What's kind of different about this is that, these kind of generate a certain view, just like kind of a generic UI situation. But what's really nice about this is it gives you like these really specific examples in your color. Um, so one thing that we can do, right, is we can kind of use this as a reference for how we're going to build things. So for instance, like I have just kind of looked up the way that um, this is suggesting like breaking out the HTML, right? So we have like a header, we have media, we have supporting text, and we have card actions, okay? And see how they're sort of like all different pieces? So I might actually just sort of build mine in a really similar way. Card like header, media, supporting text, actions, and then in a general wrapper div. And then some other things that would be helpful for us to look at are like, let's say we're like, oh, this shadow's like perfect, right? It's exactly what I want. Or even like, some of these buttons, like these are just such like nice buttons. We can totally like I wouldn't necessarily recommend just like copying and pasting the CSS, but we can kind of use it as a reference. So for instance, um, I'm trying to look right now for let's see, MD card. So here's like, here's this box shadow, right? So MD card C. So see that went away? This is the box shadow. So if you're like, oh, that box shadow is working like really nice, they actually have like 3 different box shadows on here. You can totally copy and paste this box shadow property and value set and then sort of just like tweak it. The reason why I wouldn't necessarily recommend just like copying and pasting CSS is because we have a lot of stuff in here for like a specific flex box that's been built, to hold all of this content. So if you're into the way like a certain thing looks, maybe you're like, oh, this button is perfect. I love this type. Go ahead and web inspect it, see what it looks like. So here's the button. I think it's gonna be inside of here. Yeah, so here's like exactly how they define the button, right? Here's that box shadow. Um, but like, we have min width will change. We have some stuff that we haven't actually used, but like here's the transition, right? So like when you click on it, there's like just a little bit of a transition. Um, so those are like small things that you can sort of like steal and start your project off with. But what I'll do is I'm just going to sort of use that HTML as a reference, and I'm going to build out my the cards that I'm going to be building as my UI elements. So I'm going to build 2 cards to start with, and then I might also build some other components just to show y'all like what like different techniques and ways of building up your content. So the most important thing is to keep things organized. And so I'm going to be using just this general page that I have built, this main screen. I'm going to be working on this, and then in subsequent videos I'll be showing you how to kind of perfect that animation screen. Okay, so before I even get into the cards, I'm gonna think about what my header for my main page is gonna look like, and so I'll start to design that. So I'm gonna head on over to the HTML, and I'm gonna go to screen 2, and I'm going to make a new div, and I'm gonna call it screen 2 header. And actually, you know what? I'm going to call it like screen header because I'm going to reuse this. I'm going to put one on screen 3 as well, and that's why I'll name it a class. All right. And I'll just head over to, and then I'm going to put the main screen H1. I'm going to put it inside of here. Okay. So let's head on over and let's make a class for in CSS for the screen header. Okay, and I think I'll put that maybe like more towards the top because it's something I'm going to be hopefully reusing for my other page. So screen header, I know it's going to need a height, so I'm going to say like 20 VW for the time being, and I know it's going to need a width. and that's going to be 100 VW. And then I'm also going to make it position absolute, and I'm going to give it a top of 0, just so it stays up at the top. So let's run that. Okay, and then let's also give it a background color. And I'm actually just going to use background. Oops. Oh my goodness. Zinnia was telling me that there's no one in, I'm alone in my house, so there's no one to yell at me when I've spelled something wrong. I'm on my own. Okay, so I'm going to use the colors that I've selected, but I think I'm going to do a gradient. So I'm just going to head on over here and do my gradient generator. There's this, which one? Is it this one? Is this the one I like? No, this, I don't like that UI. This one. Yes, this one's cute. Okay, so I'll just grab I think I'm gonna go with like the dark, right? The real dark color. And then also the dark pink too. And obviously I have these colors in my code as well. So let's go with, let's just do like a regular, and I'm just gonna do a really simple one. Give it that color. And then I will also do this darker pink friend. Oh, that's very cute. And yeah, maybe we'll do a little more blue and just a little bit of the purple. Okay, great. And then I will grab this linear gradient. It's a pretty simple one. Okay, so I'll grab that, and I will go ahead and put that in the background. And again, we use background because a gradient actually renders out as an image. Okay, so no background color, it's just background. Okay, so let's see how that's going to render out. Okay, that's very cute. Excellent work, everyone. And then also, some other things that you might want to think about with your gradient is we can change the angle if we want. So I think I want like a little bit more, I want it to be a little bit sassier of a gradient. Just a small amount of sassiness. Yeah. All right, and I think I'll just replace this 140 degree. Yeah. Sassy gradients for everyone. Oh my god, we're cute. Okay, and I don't know, maybe we need to make this a little bit darker, but I think we're okay for now. Okay, so now I'm going to work on the type. So that's going to be my main bar on the app, and that's going to be my title bar on both pages, and also like my back bar on the secondary page. So for instance, when I click here, when I click this option here will also be in that bar. And maybe we'll have some like cute type here that tells us what to do on this screen. So, okay. Next thing. I'm going to work with the HTML, and I'm going to put the H1. I'm going to say, I'm making an app about as my example, about the women's national soccer team. So I'm just going to call it like, this is going to be just like there's going to be like little cards about the players. So I might just say like the players. And then let's see okay, so here's my type. And so what I want to do now is I'm going to go to Google Fonts. Because I want to get some like really special type for this. And I want something, like a little weird. This is actually kind of nice. I'll trust y'all to take a little more time with your type selection. This one's speaking to me a little. That's kind of cute. It's like a little sporty. It's a little weird. I think I'm gonna go for it. Okay, so I'll trust y'all to do a little more type research. But what I will do is I think I'm just gonna take this. I think I'm going to take these first three. So I kind of have like a bold option, a middle option, and then a regular option. And I think I'm going to use this as my, mainly as my title type. And then I'm also going to pick a secondary type that's going to be my, like my paragraph styles. So I'll just hit select this style. And you can add as many styles as you'd like to your set. And then what we can do is, I don't want to download it. I would like to embed. Yes, thank you very much. So I guess you can download these now. That's a new thing. Thanks, Google. So there you go, y'all. You can actually download fonts for your other projects. But we're working on the internet. So the first thing I'll do is I'm going to grab the link, and this is going to go up in my HTML page. So I'll put this up in my HTML page. I'm gonna put it before I have linked the style sheet. So I'll put it up here because I want this to load before my style sheet loads, because obviously my type is going to be contingent on the style sheet. And then what I will do, hi Allie, is I will copy this font family. Okay, so I'm going to copy this font family, and I am going to paste this into the CSS. So I'm going to target that H1. I have some styles on it already. I'm just going to get rid of that for now. So I think we'll stick with white probably. Let's not mess with the padding. And let's put our font family in here. And then the only thing we're missing is that weight. So let's take a look at that. We've already built our package, so we can undo this. I'm just going to hit remove these. And then I'm going to look at where did that option go? View your selected families. Yeah. So I think we just do font weight, because we have 400, 500, and 600. So I think I'm going to do the font weight and then target 500. I believe that's the way that I'm going to do that. So font weight, I'm going to say 500. Okay, let's see how that looks. Okay, that's cute. I'm not convinced that's the right type for my app, but again, I'm gonna let y'all mess with that. And maybe like the thinner style will be a little better. Let's try 400. Okay, and then also I think this looks a little I think it's a little tight, so we're gonna mess with the letter spacing. So I will go here and do letter dash spacing, and I'm just gonna do like 0.1 VW for the time being, and then I'll use the web inspector. So I'll head here, and let's grab my web inspector, and I'll find that H1, screen header, H1. Yeah, so I think that looks a lot better. And then I'm also going to give it some margin. So 0 auto will just like sort of reset the margin that is already assigned to H1. But I think I'll give it like margin. So this would be top and then bottom here. And let's just do maybe like 1 VW on the top. Maybe 1.5. Nope, not 11.5. 1.5 VW. How's that look? Maybe 2. Let's go with 2. Maybe 3. Yeah, okay. I think that looks great. So I'll just go ahead and just copy all this stuff, and then I will replace it here. All right, so now let's work with our cards. So we have card 1, card 2, card 3 already, which is great. So we're just going to use that to, as our template. So I'm just going to kind of strip out some of this styling that I made earlier that was like kind of a little wacky. So I'm just going to give them, keep the height and the width just so I can see them right now. And I'm just going to change them. Oh, wait, this is the wrong thing. My bad, y'all. I want, yeah, here we go. So card, okay? So they all have one style, which is nice. So I'm going to give them a little bit less of a width, like 80 VW. Height of 50 is fine. We'll mess with the margin in a moment. I'll leave this in case I do want to do any transparency later, but for the time being, I'll just do background color white.